Yeah. Let's start the show. Man, we got a damn good show for y'all today. Good show. But before we start the show, look at this clean-ass T-shirt I'm wearing. Yeah. Look at the flag action on now. Yeah. That can only be bought at officialhodgetwins.com. Use discount code Chinese Virus. I'll give you 20% off. You know why? Because we good guys over here. Now that we paid the bills, yeah, let's start the show. Now, what was it, 2-3 years ago? Yeah. We got invited on Steven Crowder's show. Yeah. He kind of knew we was on the leaning conservative, but I was like, Steven, let's just have a conversation about anything but politics. Yeah, I haven't came out the closet yet. These niggas will kill me. Right? So we're having a good conversation. Yeah. And somehow or another, we got on this topic about Obama. Yeah. He planned that shit. You know he did. Yeah. He set us up, man. Yes, white people. These damn white people. They smarter than us Africans. He walked us right into that shit. Long story short, we end up coming out of the closet as conservative. Yeah. And I was hoping nobody was going to see the video. For some reason, for the next 3 months, every video we did on YouTube, his video would show up right beside it. You know why? Because he planned that shit. He probably paid for advertising. I want to show up right beside these assholes' videos. Yeah, but anyway, today we got a special guest. Yeah. And I want to thank him personally for helping me become a man and come out of the closet and let everybody know that I'm black, that I'm conservative, and it's okay. Yeah. Welcome to the show, everybody. Steven Crowder.
Well, thank you for having me. Now, let me be clear about that. I didn't set you guys up. You came into my studio and I said, "Look, can we talk about politics?" I knew that you guys obviously military. Thank you for your service. Small business owners. You are family men, so I suspected you might be more conservative. But I don't remember if it was Kevin or Keith. You were the one who, on air, my jaw about dropped to the floor where you said you voted for Mitt Romney. So that was you offering it willingly, and really, there's being conservative and there's voting for the Mormon who puts his dog on the roof of his car. So you guys went into that head first, and I will not take the blame for it.
Hey, Mitt Romney's still a better pick than Al Gore.
Anyone's a better pick than Al Gore, except for Al Gore's masseuse.
Well, Mitt Romney, he ran against Obama.
Yeah, he ran against Obama.
What the hell are you talking about? I'm just saying. Al Gore. Shut up. Anyway, back to Steven. Hey, Steve, you got something big here planned. Regarding COVID and what happened in Michigan. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Well, first off, and I want to thank you guys for now you have come out here as a more conservative, and you had something to lose, right? This is one thing. There are a lot of people who in the conservative movement, whether they're black, whether they're gay, they only have sort of emerged into the spotlight as the conservative black person, as the conservative gay person. You guys had a brand, you guys had an audience, and so that's one thing that I always respect. Listen, you had something at stake. You decided to make a decision, even though it was the hard decision to make. And I hope people recognize that. You're incredibly profane, so I find it funny when my mother is sending me Hodgetwins videos. She's like, "Hey, look at this." I'm like, "Don't watch past 45 seconds because I don't want to have to explain what sidewalls are." So what is happening here?
We actually cleaned it up a bit because we got a lot of Christians watching us now. Oh, look, Steve, what's this? They got another channel, Ask Hodgetwins? Let's look at that.
Hey, you can still be Christians and have euphemisms for the both male, female, and your guess is as good as mine's genitalia. So yeah, I have no problem with it. Just make sure you show up church on Sunday. Hopefully you won't be denied communion like Nancy Pelosi, but she wears it like a badge of honor. What's going on in Michigan is what's going on with me is in Michigan, October 2nd, so Friday at the Lansing Capitol, doing a rally because we've talked about this quite a bit, and you're in Nevada, you're still kind of shut down. The argument has been, and you know this with conservatives too, as black conservatives, where they'll call you an Uncle Tom, right? They use that same kind of blanket attack. And right now with COVID, it's, you don't care about saving lives. Why do you want people to die? Well, hold on a second. No, I don't want people to die. As a matter of fact, I want to protect people who are most vulnerable, namely the sick and the elderly. And this is something that no one else has really talked about. If you go back to, I believe it was March, I had my doctor, Dr. Choi, who's Korean, on the show, and I said, why don't we just lock up old and sick people? Just quarantine them. He said, that's a novel idea, because no one was willing to say it. But think about this. If in 4 months from now, we lock down the whole country, 6 months from now, Is an 85-year-old going to be any safer when they emerge from their cave? Of course not, right? The virus is still out there because it hasn't run its course. We haven't developed any kind of a herd immunity. You don't quarantine the sick. Now in Michigan, Governor Whitmer, who is the little authoritarian that could, she is the worst governor in the country because everyone's been talking about New York, right? Everyone's been talking about these other states. Well, I'm from Michigan. I was born in Detroit. It's the most beautiful state in the union, but it's been brought to its knees. And in this case, they've had one of the most severe lockdowns with COVID, but they've had one of the worst death rates. And it is a direct result of Governor Whitmer's policies. And we have some exclusive information. I want to make sure I cross my T's and dot my I's before Friday, that these deaths are a direct result of her policies. Take this. This is absolute insanity where I bet you'll think that I'm lying and you might have to fact check this for fake news, but I ask everyone out there to fact check it. Governor Whitmer's policy forced nursing homes to not only take COVID, like let's say a nursing home resident who got sick, went to the hospital, tested positive. You think, well, okay, maybe that person goes back to the nursing home. No. Governor Whitmer had a policy that was putting 20-year-olds with COVID into nursing homes. Nursing homes were accepting non-senior residents with COVID. And it just ran through there like a buzzsaw, and they've never been honest about it. They've never released the numbers. And that's really all it comes down to. If we're going to find common ground here, we're holding a rally there on the Capitol steps, asking Governor Whitmer to release the senior death toll. Because as a direct result of her policies, Grandpa bit the dust.
Yeah, what would be her motivation to do something like that, though?
Well,
why wouldn't they just keep them in the hospital? I mean, they're right. No one we know now with COVID, the most vulnerable is the elderly with pre-existing conditions. Why on earth would you send somebody that was diagnosed in their 20s with COVID into a nursing home? Or why would you take someone that's elderly with COVID and let them go back to a nursing home? They are the most vulnerable.
Well, see, your logic is right in line with Michigan Republicans, who actually put forward a bill, 3 things in the bill. Okay, they said, hey, we want this bill to go forward where you just don't send COVID patients. You just don't send COVID-infected people into nursing homes, 1. 2, you don't send the mentally ill into nursing homes. And 3, when you do send any new people into these senior facilities, you make sure that they're quarantined in a separate building for a period of time. Governor Whitmer vetoed it. So it's pretty tough. It's tough to imagine. Well, why would she do that? Well, here's why. Think about this. Go back to March. Go back to February. What did we have to do? We had to flatten the curve, right? That's what flatten the curve. So if you're going to be up for re-election, or if you're running, you have a presidential bid in your future, like Governor Whitmer, you can say, look, our hospitals are not over capacity. That's true. I have family members who work in the medical field in Michigan. Nurses, they've been furloughed. I also have a 97-year-old grandma who lives in Michigan, so this affects me personally. Yeah, you can say, hey, the hospitals are not over capacity, record layoffs, record cutting of nurses' hours and medical professionals. Just stuff them in the nursing home. Because in these nursing homes, 25% of all deaths come from nursing homes or assisted living facilities in any given month. So they thought no one would notice and they could claim credit for not overbearing the hospitals. But here's the really sinister thing, too. So there's that veto. We know the policy. We know that Governor Whitmer has defended it. But there's this number that gets thrown out there. And I can't give you all the numbers. People have to show up on Friday. And we'll also have some yard signs for people out there that they can put in their yard just to poke their finger in the governor's chest like the Rahm Emanuel in a Chicago shower. Bathhouse, sorry. I don't necessarily know that he hangs out in showers anymore. I don't know if bathhouses are still a thing. She said 30, you saw Eastern Promises. She said 34% of all deaths, of all deaths in Michigan come from nursing homes. Okay. That would seem to track with, if you look at other states like Indiana, Illinois. Here's the thing, though. These other states, 30-something% of all deaths they are including nursing homes, assisted living facilities, adult foster homes, and homes for the aged. These are different. These are 4 separate categories. Michigan is only including some nursing homes. In other words, when you have a comparison that 34% or 35% of all deaths in Indiana or Illinois come from, that's 4 different categories. Governor Whitmer is saying that 34% of all deaths come from, and we've crunched the numbers, 442 nursing homes only. Do you know how many homes there are that fit those categories? Not even including assisted living because they're not licensed. Do you know how many licensed nursing homes, senior living homes, adult foster care homes there actually are in Michigan? Over 4,000 currently active.
Wow.
34% of the, you would have to believe that over 90% of these other facilities where old people are living have had 0 deaths. And when we send a request for information, Well, what do you think Wuhan Whitmer is going to be putting us on speed dial? Of course not. We're not exactly in our T-Mobile favorites. So this is what's going on. This is what's going on. We just want the truth. As it comes to common ground, I think that's kind of where you guys came more out of the closet. Like, listen, let's find common ground. Why did you vote this way? What do you believe? I don't care if you're far right or far left. You could be the left of Stalin. You could be to the right of Genghis Khan, for all I care. We should all say, you know what? Governor Whitmer should release the numbers. We should know how this has affected old people, especially when you have the other. The average COVID death, the average death in Michigan is 77 years old. That's the median age for the COVID death. That's the same year that most people are in senior living facilities. All of these numbers point to one thing, and Governor Whitmer is hiding them like a child. He's going, no, my data. We're like, well, can we have some data? No. And so she has this little down-home Midwestern charm, but she's the worst. Yeah. She's the pits.
Yeah. That's absolutely no transparency. And, it's directly, the death that was caused in that state is directly, because of the things she instituted and vetoing that bill. I think it's amazing that on the left, they keep blaming Trump. He's responsible for 200,000 deaths in this country. It's like, y'all blaming everybody but these bad policies by governors in that state. Yeah. It's everybody else. It's Trump's fault, but it's not China's fault. I think this is amazing if you can get those numbers and show what really happened in that state.
Well,
nobody still to this day is blaming China, but these governors in our own states is no transparency, and the rules they're instituting. And they always say let's look at the science. Let's just look at the science. They ain't looked at the science, you would have never vetoed that bill.
Yeah.
Never.
And by the way, I include among scientists currently practicing medical professionals. And they were saying time and time again in Michigan, where Governor Whitmer was saying, you can handle it in these facilities. And the doctors and these advisors were saying, no, we can't. And they said, we're not equipped to handle this. You saw that video of that young black guy beating the hell out of the old man in the nursing home? Remember that video?
Yeah. Do
you know the story behind that video? Do you know why he was there?
No.
That black guy had COVID.
Jesus.
That's why he was there. And that guy killed himself, the old man. He starved himself to death. The only reason he was there was because that young black guy had COVID. So this is a result of that policy. That's what you saw. Right. A young black guy with COVID whose dad said he's a paranoid schizophrenic, or he had some kind of severe mental disorder. His own relatives said he should not have been there. Someone dropped the ball. He was there because COVID. So when the governor says, this is just political theater, they're trying to tarnish my name by saying these homes aren't. You couldn't keep a 20-year-old crip in the making from ground and pounding Poppy, from ground and pounding Meemaw, for crying out loud. He had a perfect mount and was hammer fisting him. You couldn't stop that. And we're supposed to believe that you can stop an airborne, maybe not airborne virus, again, depending on the science on any given day. Yeah, it is remarkable. And like you said, Donald Trump's responsible for 200,000 deaths? Well, if we go by the experts' numbers, he's actually responsible for 1.8 to 2.2 million people saved, because that's what the death toll was going to be. Why aren't these experts ever held accountable? Why isn't this governor held accountable? The funniest thing in all of this, you know what's funny? Governor Whitmer is calling for an investigation into Donald Trump's handling of COVID. It's like, all right, Pumpkin, you first. How about that? How about we send in the feds like it's Tommy Lee Jones and U.S. Marshals, and he checks every outhouse, penthouse, hen house, everything to see what's been going on and how many grandparents you killed there, Whitmer. But this is the problem.
That's not going to end well if they both investigated thoroughly. Right. Trump is going to win. She's going to go down miserably.
Well, because it's hard.
Trump has been proven. He's been vetted more than any other president in this country. Yeah.
Think about it. They're listening to his phones. They're reading his emails. They're claiming that they're leaking conversations. Of course, the troop conversation has no actual corroborating evidence, and there are plenty of people who knew that it wasn't true. Do you realize the New York Times, the taxes thing? I woke up realizing, wait a second. This could all be bullshit. There's no evidence of any of this. And even if there were, it's not like there was a crime committed. But this is New York Times, the ones who created the Russia collusion hoax. And people bought that. Right. So I was going, wait a second. We're trying to analyze what Trump paid in taxes, what he didn't, whether he was using the tax code. This is a president who has had his phones tapped, who has had people spying on his emails, who has had more stories written about him from insiders to the press who were never really insiders, who were never Trump supporters. Many of them were legacy hires. And there's no proof of any criminal wrongdoing. That is remarkable, because you know what? Yeah. All of us would have something there they could catch us on. Let's be honest.
I'll be locked up. They go back 6 months. I'm going to jail.
I'd be locked up and they'd throw away the key if they could just read my texts for jokes.
I mean, they're just fun. I mean, I ain't gonna even go there. Hey, man, plead the fifth.
They'd check for me in my room 20 years from now, and I'd have lines on the wall like Count of Monte Cristo. I'd be like, can I come out? No, you texted this on March 1st. I did do that. You're right. I should stay in here. Sorry.
That is crazy. So, what is your hopes when you go to Michigan? It's this Friday?
It's this Friday, October 2nd, at the state capitol. Listen, my hope is just that we get some transparency here. The only leg that Governor Whitmer has to stand on is she kept the citizens safe, right? That's how they justify all these lockdowns. And if you look at the states that have had the most severe lockdowns, places like New York, places like Michigan, they haven't done well. They have unemployment. The only thing they've done well is if you want to sort of use the metric of achieving record high unemployment compared to places like Texas. So they haven't done well. The lockdowns haven't worked, and they've been justified by these governors with lies. And that's the only leg that this governor has to stand on. She's using it against Donald Trump. And I was inspired by driving down M22 in Michigan. Anyone from Michigan out there knows what I'm talking about. And you see all these signs. Thank you, Governor Whitmer. Thank you, Governor, for keeping us safe. Which, by the way, if you're a guy and you put that sign in your yard, you're kind of a pussy boy, right? Like, you shouldn't be thanking a female governor for saving your life. And I said, hold on a second, that can't be true. So we're going to have thousands of signs demanding that Whitmer release the death toll. Michigan is an important state. It's a beautiful state. And listen, if Donald Trump doesn't win Michigan like he did last go-around, that's fine. I understand. I want the people to decide. But right now, the people there are deciding based on a lie. So I want to be really clear. People have died as a direct result of Governor Whitmer's policies. Okay, this is not she didn't do enough. She did too much. What she did was harmful. We know it was harmful to a degree that has not been disclosed, and she is refusing to be open about that information and to provide it to the public. And hopefully we'll get enough people who just demand information. That's it. No chance of lock her up. I'm calling on people. Don't show up in Michigan and burn things down. Don't show up and be violent or disruptive. Let's leave the place cleaner than we found it. All we're doing is showing up, providing a presentation with some exclusive info that I'm sure will make Governor Whitmer uncomfortable, and asking this governor to be transparent and to be held accountable. That's all it is. And if she wants to shut it down because she said it's a violation of her executive order, right? She said that about Trump rallies. I'll respond with, who the hell are you? Who the hell are you to tell Americans that they cannot meet at the state capitol outside and practice their First Amendment right? You little authoritarian.
Tell you that.
Yeah, she's the worst. She's the absolute pits. I just, I don't want to make it personal, but I have a 97-year-old grandma.
Make it personal, Stephen. She sucks.
She does. And here's something, you know something else too? I have a 97-year-old grandmother, okay? My wife's, you met my wife's grandmother. And she's awesome too. She's like pretty sharp for 97. Like, she talks like mad trash when we play like Rummy Cube. Like, she'll write little songs about me being gay and sucking at board games, and she'll like do it on the spot.
So she's spry.
She is spry, yeah. And she actually, until a year and a half ago, didn't have any kind of caretaker. Here's the crazy thing. Her caretaker's like 75, and she's young enough to be her daughter, right? But that's the youngin' in the house at this point. But my grandmother was out there in Michigan, okay? And listen, I've actually tried to get her N95, actual masks, respirators and gloves, because she is at risk. I'm not saying this is a made-up virus. I'm saying we need to protect people like my 97-year-old grandmother. You know what my grandmother said? We were talking to her through her screen door on her back porch, and she was really upset. And you know what she said? She said at this point, she said, I'm 96. She said, I am 96 years old, and for 6 months, I haven't been able to hug any of my granddaughters. Who is this guy? Who is the government to tell me? Do you have any idea how long 6 months is for a 96-year-old? Every day is precious. And you know what? I'm willing to sacrifice a few months if I actually get to spend time with my family, because it's what matters to me. And I was sitting there going, oh my God, I never even thought about this. There are probably a lot of old people out there who still want to be able to see their family, and we've just made this decision for them, just like this governor made the decision to send in the bloods into the nursing homes. It's unreal. Yeah, right. They're still people, old people. They're a little gross and shriveled, but they're people. They should be able to make their own decisions.
Yeah. I think they still have sex at that age.
Oh, my God. No, that's another thing. Do you know that chlamydia and sexually transmitted diseases, they're actually climbing at an exponential rate in senior living homes now?
Yeah, they ain't got nothing else to do.
Exactly.
Sex.
Exactly. And they come from a generation where they didn't learn about safe sex, and now those old birds get around.
He's like, I can't do it on the bed. My back hurts. Here, let me get my walker and stand up, and you just come from behind. So
and somehow they're going to use that walker, and they're going to accidentally discover the next Liberator pillow.
I apologize for that joke. That was vulgar, and you pissed off the Christian.
Oh, come on. Christians do it, too. There's like a billion of them.
Not the Christians that follow us. They give us crap all the time. Stop cursing.
Well, I don't think you're cursing and just painting a mental picture of a man on a walker with a tennis ball, going to town on Mima.
Yeah, that's just I'm being creative over here.
Yeah, he's taking her on the shuffleboard court. Wait, is a shuffleboard a court or a table? I know they always
shuffleboard.
I don't know. I know in all these assisted living facilities when I had an
She's got the walker that's hitting the table. Jesus, cut it out.
Yeah, this is the way. You know what? I think you lost some of those conservative Christians, but you got them back.
See, I'm sorry, that's the old me. That's over. Yeah, I'm a better man now.
Oh, I tell you what, though.
Apologize.
They are the old ladies are they're into it. I've had conversations with my grandmother and her friends before they all died too. That's something to keep in mind. When she's 97. She moved to a new home because everyone died. She was staying in a certain area of Michigan. She was staying in a place called Bloomfield because she's like, well, my bridge club is there and my doctor. Everyone in her bridge club died and her doctor retired because her doctor was like 70. There's a certain point where you cross over. Like if I were to meet Keith and I'd be like, oh, hey, you don't have Kevin with you. Hey, how's Kevin doing? But then there's a certain crossover age where my first question is Kevin still alive? And that's where they are.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's kind of like that to put up with the COVID, man. What's that movie, Green Mile? The Tom Hanks.
Yeah, you know it well.
Outlived everybody. Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't be dropping as quickly as they are, though. That's the whole point to the rally. Is listen, we got to find content.
How can everybody find what you're going to be doing? Because you're going to be posting this all over your social media. Yeah, right? we're going to post it on our channel too. We'll provide links. Yeah. So if y'all want to check out what Steven's doing, we'll provide links in our information box as well.
So, thank you very much. There'll be a link there, and people can also just go to louderwithcrowder.com, and up until Friday, that'll be right up there with a banner. So any info you guys need, or if people want to show up, obviously get some signs. We're trying to make these yard signs available to as many people as possible so they can piss off their neighbors who thank the governor for saving their lives. And we'll be having a hashtag going on. The goal with this is to get some national attention to something that really matters, because this is one of the rare instances, because Michigan, Detroit has largely become insignificant to most people. But if the case here is ignored, so will the crimes that have taken place in government across the rest of the country. This is one that's verifiable, it's provable, there's dishonesty, we know it, and we can ensure that it doesn't happen anymore. But we've got to hold their feet to the fire, and that's why I'm doing it. And listen, every night, it's been a while since I picked a fight. YouTube's been a little nice to us lately, so I figured, how about the governor who's primed to run for president next? Let's see how that goes.
Yeah. Hopefully, the liberals' constituents, man. Hopefully they'll wake up and see, man. Their cities are most affected the most, man. They've been experiencing the heaviest shutdowns, and this bill that she vetoed, man, it's the liberal ran cities is hurting the most.
I can't believe,
regardless of COVID.
Yeah. Just if people don't believe me, look up the bill she vetoed. Look up the bill. 3 demands. Don't put COVID patients into nursing homes. Don't put the mentally ill into nursing homes, and quarantine people in a separate building before sending them into nursing homes. If we talk about common ground, common sense approaches, I guarantee you nearly every single American polled would say, well, yeah, of course. And she wants to accuse the right of playing political football. No. She wants to cover her tracks.
Yeah. Liberals. No spine. No integrity.
Pretty
much. If you still voting left, keep doing that. You ain't gonna have nothing left.
Go to officialhodgetwins.com and pick you out a patriotic t-shirt today. Hell, I'm even giving you 20% off. Just type in discount code Chinese virus. We call it Chinese because it's from China. We making t-shirts great again.